Hello and welcome GCC business community. It's a pleasure to be with you and with the author Kate Sweetman here today. She's joining us at the Capital Club with a RightSelections and GCC Business Council event. So we're very glad. Welcome back to Dubai.
Thank you. Very happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, really glad. And we're going to be talking a little bit about her new book, ReInvention, that just came out, which I am pleased to be almost finished reading it, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and just have a few questions if I might ask you about that. So
Sure.
First, why did you write ReInvention?
We were inspired to write ReInvention, if I may say, my co-author Shane Cragen and I, because we've both been in the business world, in the world of dealing with change, in the world of leadership, organizational development, all that kind of stuff for many, many years. And we re-met after not seeing each other for quite a while, and we were both comparing notes and said, you know what, it's really different now. I mean, this era in which we're living, it's not just a blip, it's not just a phase, it's not just a thing, it is a step change transformation. And so just to actually help our own work so that we would be as current as possible, we ended up having to write a book.
That's great. I really appreciate that, and really appreciate the insights that you've been sharing. You mentioned in your book about blindfolds. What have you seen of the six that you mentioned in your book? What would you say is the most common blindfold that you've seen here in this region?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we have a number of frameworks in the book. We think of the book as a sort of a field guide to reinvention. And one of the most popular notions that we have in the book that comes up a lot is this idea we've got about blindfolds. And the idea of blindfolds is that there's a world going on around us, and there's a world going on inside our organizations, and there's even a world going on inside of us, which if we just could see clearly, we would have the perceptions we needed to move forward. But somehow there's something that gets in our way, and we call those blindfolds. So you asked about the region. The one thing in the region, actually what I would say is that our blindfolds are things like arrogance, are things like not listening to negative feedback, are things like not really paying attention to the customer, but paying attention to what we want to push out there, things like that. And so what I would say is that the overarching, the common, the meta blindfold is really ego. And so it's ego that gets in their way of being able to perceive things clearly, because first it's got to go through our own filter.
Interesting.
And so to the extent that that makes sense in this part of the world, then that's what I would say is probably the most important thing. And the reason why we name these the blindfolds in the way that we do is because people can identify with different aspects of that ego problem.
So, and keeping ego in check would be called humility?
It would be called humility. It would be called humility. It would be called self-awareness, right? It would be called being willing to respect and understand and honor that other people have something to offer, no matter where they are in business or society, that people are going to be bringing in different points of view. And I think especially as the world is changing around us, there's no way, I don't care how smart you are, and I don't care how good your education is, there's no way you can keep track of all that. And there's no way you can sift through all that and decipher all that and integrate all that. You really need a lot of people in your organization paying attention, thinking about it, and bringing ideas forward, and then connecting them, exactly. So the thing that will most get in anybody's way is the blindfold of ego that expresses itself through arrogance, not listening, or pushing rather than receiving. And so that's what I would say.
That was really interesting. I appreciate your insights on that. And one more question I have is, you seem to be on the forefront of reinvention, of adapting to this VUCA world that we live in. But I've noticed here that not as many people have the skills, the tools, the understanding that you have, that you've shown in your book. What do you say to those that are looking to try to get some momentum, to try to get more focused, to try to get things moving again? 2016 was a bit of a challenging year for many, but 2017 has a lot of promise. But I believe there's many that are trying to find a way to get some momentum. So.
Well, I hear what you're saying, and I love that you said, how do you get the skills and tools? Because there's something that needs to happen before the skills and tools. And that is called your mindset, opening up your mindset. It's really about saying, I don't know all the answers. I may be an expert in some things, but there's a whole world changing around me. And it's bringing in technical changes, and it's bringing in social changes, and it's bringing in political changes, and it's bringing in a lot of different things. And so until I can get my mindset open to that, I won't even know what skills I need. I won't even know what tools I need.
Just starting from the inside out.
Exactly.
Becoming aware of self, removing those blindfolds, or those
And then really
self-limiting
opening
beliefs.
up, and then just allowing yourself to feel this great curiosity about the world, because you don't know yet where the changes are going to be coming from, that are going to be affecting you so much.
Really appreciate that. One last final question. What is one of the most important things that you could share with the GCC business community to leave us with as a parting thought?
That's a great question.
Not to put you on the spot. Yeah.
Yeah, and I guess what I would say is that I hope that people realize that as frightening or disorienting as change can be, that it does come down to attitude. And so if you can say, we actually live in a world of great opportunity, and all this change is going to bring us, new possibilities. And I know that probably sounds a little Pollyanna-ish or a little overly optimistic, but it's really the only way you can approach it. You have to say it's not scary so much as it's an opportunity. And I'm going to get a lot of people helping me to solve this problem. It doesn't have to all be my solution.
That's great. If you believe it, you can achieve it.
Yeah, it sounds corny, but it's true.
Well, thank you very much for listening to our interview, and thank you, Kate, for coming back to Dubai. You are welcome here anytime.
My pleasure. I love coming to Dubai.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Cheers.